The ProACT Know-How, brought to you by ProACT.
And welcome to this episode of Living and Working Abroad, where we're drilling down and focusing on what the tax liability is in Cyprus and what tax needs to be paid in the self-assessment, temporary assessment for Cyprus tax in 2019. Now in Cyprus, your annual tax return for a year is not due until after the end of the year. So for 2019, it's not due until into January, February next year. But by then, you're expected to have paid most of your tax. And this year, the complication for many people is that there is a new national health insurance tax which needs to be paid. Now, there's a number of different ways to pay for this. People on benefits or pensions in Cyprus are getting their tax deducted at source. A new idea for Cyprus, but this is what's happening for them. For employees and the self-employed, they are paying additional national health insurance tax with their social insurance payments, either personally as self-employed people or directly through their employer. And therefore, everybody else has to, for every other piece of income, pay it through their tax return. So Cyprus has got many advantages and many disadvantages, and one of the advantages is that tax is grouped into different areas. So income tax is not corporation tax, it's not special defence tax, which is applied on dividends and bank interest and rental income, but it's also not national health tax, which is a separate fund and a separate tax. And somebody may have a liability to social insurance or income tax or corporation tax or rent income tax, but not have a liability to national health insurance tax, or that they may not be paying one of those taxes but still have a liability to a national health tax. And those are the people that we want to drill down on today, because many people with incomes below 19,500 euros, about £17,000, if you're not working and you've just got rental, bank investment or bank interest income, dividends, then you won't have paid tax in Cyprus in the past. Now this might be a service company arrangement, or it might be just an investor. So there's been no obligation to complete a tax return or pay any taxes. With the new Cyprus health insurance tax, you've got this universal access and universal right to a health service with some fees that are payable up front, a point of service, a pound for a prescription, up to £10 for a consultant's meeting. But with a cap on that a year. The maximum anybody will pay is $300 a year, no matter how much they earn, if they're eligible for the system. Except there's also a tax, and the tax needs to be paid. So for people who don't have employed income or don't have income that's taxed at source for the national health insurance tax, or they have additional worldwide income on dividends or rental or investment or contract work abroad, have got a liability to national health insurance tax. Now, that at 1.7%. Now this is assessed in the full year tax return that's submitted at the end of 2019. However, there is a self-assessment process, so any tax that's due is due before. To further complicate it, if your total income is below 19,500, you don't need to make a first instalment of tax payment in the half year, June, July this year. You could wait and pay that tax in December. But if your income is over £19,500, then you need to make a half year and an end of year payment. That means making a payment now. And if you need any help on that, contact us at proactpartnership.com, and our tax saving experts will guide you on how to get yourself set up and pay the right amount of tax either in July or December. So let's drill down on that a bit more. if you in 2018, up until 2018, weren't making a tax return because you've got no earned income, no rental income, all you've got is worldwide income that's not taxable in Cyprus, then you won't have done a tax return up until now. But now you need to do a tax return. The 2019 tax return is not due yet. If your income is below 19.5, then you don't need to do a temporary tax return to pay national health insurance tax. However, even if your income is only 10,000 or 5,000 euros, by the end of 2019, you're liable to pay a tax at 1.7%. So it's a significant proportion of money that needs to be paid in December, January 2019. And it's a tax that then needs to be declared on the full year tax return. So it's £1, €1.70 for every 100 euros of income. So 1,000 euros, it's 17 euros. 10,000, it's 170. 20,000, it's 340. So it mounts up, but it's not that much. But that is your contribution to the free health service in Cyprus. One group have got exception from that: EU expats who have a registered S1 in Cyprus. So if you have an S1, if you have an entitlement to an S1, which means you're getting a state pension from an EU country, then you've got a possibility to apply for exemption from the national health insurance tax. Everybody else has to pay. If your income is over 19,500 for income tax, you've got a July and a December payment. And if your income is below 19,500, you've got a national health insurance tax payable in December 19 and a tax return due for 2019. If you need any help on that, with questions answered or help getting registered with with the health system, the tax system, and getting your online tax returns and payments done, contact us at ProACTPartnership.com or through our Living Working Abroad Facebook page, and we can use some ProACT know-how to help you solve your problems living and working abroad in Cyprus. We'll speak to you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.
The ProACT Know-How, brought to you by ProACT.